We on? Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Paul Tripoli. Thanks for watching the show on this Wednesday night edition, The Bear Facts. Excuse me. This is titled Gracious Loser. This segment of The Bear Facts comes from the book The Last Coach by Alan Barra. The great Oklahoma football coach Bud Wilkinson won 3 national championships in his 17 years at Norman from 1947 to 1963. His one-loss record at Oklahoma was 145-29-4. After the 1950 regular season, the Sooners finished their 3rd straight unbeaten season. They had a winning streak of 31 games. Another young college coach on the rise was Paul Bryant. Coach Bryant was in his 5th year at Kentucky. The Wildcats had only 1 loss in the regular season. That loss was to Tennessee's head coach, General Neyland. General Neyland was Coach Bryant's kryptonite. Coach Bryant never did beat the General. In 1950, Oklahoma won the title. Back then, the champions were elected before the bowl games were played. Other teams like Miami were undefeated and hoping to play in the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma. However, Coach Bryant heard himself telling the Sugar Bowl committee, quote, "If you give us the bid, I guarantee you we will beat Oklahoma's ass," unquote. Wow. Why did Coach Paul Bryant make such an outlandish promise? How could he possibly have guaranteed a victory against the defending national champions, the most powerful dynasty in college football, a team that had not been defeated for 3 seasons? Partly it was confidence. Bryant was always thought he had a chance to win. The better part of confidence, though, was probably desperation. He had now been a head coach for 6 years, and still he felt he had not won a big game. His coach and mentor at Alabama, Frank Thomas, told him he needed to make a name for himself before the age of 40. Frank Thomas played for Knute Rockne at Notre Dame. In preparing for the Sooners, Bryant utilized some new technology, game films. No one really knows who was the first coach to use game films. Coach Bryant's best player at the time, Bob Gain, said, quote, "Watching film really paid off. We felt like we knew every move those guys were going to make before they made it." The 1951 Sugar Bowl captivated the football-loving public, partly because Bud Wilkinson and Bear Bryant were recognized as the 2 young rising stars of the coaching profession, and partly because their first meeting was the biggest postseason game not played in the Rose Bowl. In fact, the 1951 Sugar Bowl was the first of the other bowl games to overshadow the Rose Bowl. Somehow, Coach Bryant made good on his promise, and Kentucky beat Oklahoma 13-7, stopping their 31-game win streak. This is the rest of the story. As important as the game was to Bryant, it may not have been as important as what happened in the locker room afterward. In the midst of the shouting and cheering, Bud Wilkinson walked into the Bama locker room as it fell silent. Wilkinson, mustering all the dignity possible for a coach who had just lost his first game in 4 years, went from player to player shaking hands, congratulating them, ending with a tribute to their Wildcats coach, Coach Bryant. For the first time in his career, Bryant got goosebumps. Quote, "Bud Wilkinson taught me something that day." He said, "He showed me the class I wish I had," unquote. Wilkinson taught Bryant that it was possible to bring honor to one's university, even, perhaps especially, in defeat. Losses were inevitable, and when they came, Coach Bryant would face them with the same nobility that Wilkinson had shown him in his biggest loss of his career up to that point. That, folks, is the Bear Facts. His quote that resonated with me was, "He showed me class I wish I had." Now, that is a great story, and that's how Coach Bryant became a gracious loser. He learned it from one of the best, Bud Wilkinson. I hope you enjoyed it. I, as myself, as a coach, could never live up to Coach Bryant's standard as a gracious loser, but we all should strive to be like that. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without them, this would not be possible. Hope you have a great sports night, everybody. So long.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
Step One works so hard to get you in the perfect car. Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step One Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step One supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step One Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
75 years of service and high-tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High-tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.